Hello everyone, Adrock11 here. Got me a battle versus Zenobell12, and it was a pretty interesting battle. I got to use one of my more favorite Pokemon of this generation, and I also got to use another one that I really like. Unfortunately, I really failed on the prediction, so it's not really gonna do much, but it still looks cool. And yeah, well, I was originally gonna lead with my Manapede, but I saw that he had Typhlosion, and in this generation you get to see your opponent's Pokemon before they send them out, so it's kind of like Pokemon Battle Revolution, or Battle, whatever, the newest one, you know what I mean. So, in that respect, I guess it's alright in my book. So I switched my lead because I know Manapede, if it's Scarf, it's gonna get raped. And then, fast forward a few turns, he sends this thing out. I don't want to be paralyzed, so I send out Mazinger Z, but then I just remembered, like, before I sent it out, it has Scold. I just remembered that, and unfortunately for me, and partly because of my luck, I was burned. And now a few seconds before, I was thinking to myself, should I give it a Lumberry, or should I give it Leftovers? Nah, Lumberry is probably better. Like, Leftovers is probably better than Lumberry. When am I ever going to need a Lumberry if I'm hiding behind a sub? Anywho, I'm going to predict this switch out, so I'm just going to go for a Focus Punch, but he's going to stay in, he's going to scold me again. So now I'm like, I need to get something on this thing. So I'm just going to go for Earthquake as soon as all the fun animations stop. Okay, I'm going to go for an Earthquake as he sends in Ghetto Swag. Caught in an Ultra Ball. Awesome. As I just go for an Earthquake. And Earthquake is going to do okay damage to it, which means me to believe that he might be a Dragon Dance set of how much that did, because that should not have done anything. So I know his only EV investment is probably in attack and speed or something like that. So I just go for a Focus Punch because I know if I'm going to basically force him to kill me off or it's going to cost him. Which he just goes for a Dragon Dance, so it's going to cost him, sadly for him. And I know that Focus Punch is going to do a lot, judging how much Earthquake did. It's probably not going to kill it, but if it did, hey. But I get a crit, which I want to say didn't matter because he would have lived by like a little bit, and then I would have forced him to kill me off, thus sending in Kajundo to, well, not Kajundo, screw it. His name is Isaac, to go in and fake him out and kill him and blah 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 blah. So he sends in number 1 to get me to use Earthquake, but I'm just going to go for another Focus Punch because it's like, nothing you have resists, well, he has things that resist Focus Punch. It's just that, Focus Punch is going to hit everyone, at least for something. So I'm better off going for that than going for Earthquake, and then like Mew or Latias just runs in and says, hey, what's up? So yeah, Mazinger Z obviously dies, which is very sad because then the people who they are trying to protect are now going to die to a giant robot invasion. But I'm going to get hit by some meteors. But as everyone remembers, Knight from the 4th generation, this is the same Knight transferred over, so Knight is back again, doing the things that Knight loves so much, knocking off items, because this is why you can't have good things, because you're going to hit me with meteors. That's not very nice. And he's going to switch out, and he's going to go into water, as I predicted, so I go for the yawn here, just to get him to switch out again so I can safely set up my Stealth Rock. And some people are asking me, why don't you carry Thunder Wave on Knight? And I said, because I'm edgy, and I'm sneaky, and I like to be sneaky. So I'm going to set up Stealth Rock, he's going to use Yawn, I'm going to go like, okay, totally not staying in now. but he's going to allow water to fall asleep, probably figuring that it might not be useful anymore, so I might as well have it as a sleep fodder, so I can't put anything else to sleep. So I'm just going to send in Manapede because it's a man, baby. But he's going to switch out, and he is going to go into number 1. And remember, I still don't know if this is Scarfed or if it's Spect. So I'm like, I'm sorry, Knight, but you need to do something for me. So I send in Knight basically to take the overheat or the eruption or flamethrower, whatever he wants to do. And it turns out that he ends up being Spect, which is totally not cool because now Knight is going to die a sad, sad fate of being burned to death by a Typhlosion. Even though Typhlosion is cool, very cool, I like Knight and I feel very sad that Knight had to die. So goodbye, Knight. We will see you another game. So now I send back in Manapede because I figured that I can live a -4 overheat even if it's Spect, which he switches out and he's gonna go head into water. I guess I don't know why he went into water, but okay. So I'm just gonna go for an earthquake, and that is going to not kill it but do some significant damage to it as I take some life orb damage and blah 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 animation, blah 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 more animation. He's gonna switch out and he is going to send in Arundis as I'm gonna go ahead and just set up some toxic spike, make him think a little bit more on his switch ins. And now I'm like, oh crap, he doesn't have leftovers. I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. So I switch into Donald, thinking I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was expecting a Scarfed Psychic, but he's not. He's gonna send in back in water for some interesting reason, I guess, to take the Mega Horn or the physical move, trying to paralyze me with Static, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe just Father. I don't even know at this point. He just sent it back in, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just start going on the offensive now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Earthquake because I know it's gonna take it out. And it does without a problem. And he goes down. Now here comes a move that Zeno did that I was kind of confused about. Okay, now he sends this in. I'm thinking it's now or never. I'm gonna figure out what this is, and if I die, then I still have Raikou here to back me up. He's gonna use Sucker Punch. I'm confused on that move simply because he's gonna put me into Swarm range, which is just not good considering that he has 3 Psychic types, which are all gonna get demolished by this Mega Horn. Which I was thinking to myself, for the love of God, Mega Horn, just do not miss. You are 85% accurate. All you have to do is hit a giant. You at least need to hit this dragon. This is the main problem right here. Is this dragon? I don't know how I'm gonna deal with Mew. We'll get over that some other time. But we need to take care of this dragon. Which he does hit this dragon, which makes me very happy face. And Life Orb is sucking on his life. And now he sends in Mew, which I'm like, oh Christ. Now let's see. Mega Horn, please hit. Please hit Mega Horn. And Mega Horn does end up hitting, which is like, yeah, go Mega Horn. Now I cannot use it. Which, here's one of the reasons why I'm like, you probably shouldn't have used Sucker Punch, simply because if you wouldn't have used Sucker Punch, that was a defensive Mew, you might have lived that. And then Thunder Waved me and then ended the sweep right there. But that's not the case. It's just a little food for thought that I like to think about sometimes. I'm gonna finish things off with a Earthquake on like one of my friend's favorite Pokemon, which I guess I should just make one and name it after her, I guess. And that is GG, good sir, and Manaphy lives by 3. So, good game, comment, rate, sub, and what 5th gen Pokemon do you want to see? I might do it for you.